we really need to do a rebrand on what neurodivergence looks like, specifically with autism and ADHD, because I feel like there's so many black and brown folks that are getting diagnosed right now. When I first got diagnosed with ADHD, or even thinking about seeking out a diagnosis, it was hard for me to see myself because so much of the content that I see posted is usually white women who talk about having ADHD. I know, as men, it can be hard for men to talk about it, about mental health in general. And so I get that. And then even harder for black men, because a lot of our existence is predicated on being seen as labor, right? And then when you're seen as labor and you say, hey, there's something impeding me on doing this labor, people are like, shut up, get back to the labor. Essentially, I'm flattening this conversation, but that's how it has felt to me. And that's how I've seen it, right? And so I want to say that we really need to do a rebrand on what neurodivergence looks like, specifically with autism and ADHD, because I feel like there's so many black and brown folks that are getting diagnosed right now. And it's a really surreal and unique experience. To be transparent, I started an autism evaluation process recently, and when I tell people about it, like, hey, I'm going through evaluation for autism, they're like, what? Like, nah, bro, like, you're not autistic. Like, you do, you pick up social cues well, you do this, you do that. And one thing I've had to learn about myself and acknowledge is, like, so much of this conversation and so much of these struggles have been internal and were masked by ADHD. As I've started working on ADHD symptoms over the last 3 years, other stuff has started to pop up, like, man, sensitive to the big lights, right? Or sound texture, clothing texture. I haven't been connected to my body. And now that I'm getting more connected to my body, I realize certain stuff is challenging for me, and I haven't slowed down long enough or been around people that are present enough to be able to realize that and say, like, no, this isn't necessarily easy for me. I've kind of adapted and masked and just accepted this would be my life. But as I've been learning and seeing, it's like, oh, like, this is actually hard for me. And so I want to be that representation of somebody, what it looks like to have ADHD and autism. Follow for more.